Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I want to show you how I put together this 60p hardscape. As you can see, it's got two bold pieces of driftwood as the main composition. This time though, I wanted to try something a little bit different, and I wanted to mix like a hybrid style between the diorama style and the nature aquarium style. So we'll have lots of detailed hardscape, but also lots of beautiful plants. Let's not wait any further. We'll do a bit of rewind and I'll show you how all this came together. A stable aquascape always starts with a good substrate system. Here I'm going with a solid combination of aquaplant cultures Scaperspace and bacteria from APT Starts and root tabs from APT Jazz. I have had really good results with this combination for 3 scapes now, and it provides a really good boost in the substrate from the start. The Scaperspace is like a porous substrate with additives to promote plant growth, but also increases the beneficial bacteria in the substrate. Adding the APT Starts also allows beneficial bacteria to start colonizing the substrate immediately. Remember to add the blue sachet only once you filled it with water. Lastly, it is important that we cap everything with a layer of aquaswale. Here I'm using master swale. This is really important because it covers up all the additives and the root tabs that we've just added. Next is the hardscape, and I'm using locally sourced driftwood from my local fish store. For the composition, you can see here I've got 2 large driftwood pieces that flow from the left to the right, and the end point at the very back left there. So yeah, overall composition is something that's like this. You get the idea. It took a couple of attempts to get the right pieces of wood to create the look I was after. I positioned the 2 big branches on the rule of thirds, and then I could work my way to adding more detail with the smaller pieces of wood. My favorite way to secure the hardscape is using the cotton pad and super glue technique. Simply wedge the cotton pad between the pieces of hardscape and then put some super glue right over it. The cotton pad will then absorb the super glue, securing the whole thing together. I also started to add some more series stones to visually support the wood while adding some more layers. These here are dark series stones. So a couple of days went by, I took some photos, had a look at the photos, and I thought, you know, perhaps I could add a little bit more detail into the hardscape. And yeah, I thought maybe I could add a couple more detailed twigs on the 2 main branches. These here are small branches of dark Indonesian driftwood. These are much finer twigs that have a lot of character. I always try to break these pieces down by hand so it looks much more natural. Even though the 2 types of wood may look very different right now, I do believe that the light one will slowly get darker and match closer to the dark twigs. For these small details, I try to make sure that they go with the flow of the scape and try to make them hug the big pieces of driftwood. Once I was pretty happy with the overall look of the scape, I then added a thin layer of cosmetic sand in the foreground. The sand path stretches all the way to the back left corner of the scape. This will help create some depth as well as draw your eye to the vanishing point. But wait, there's more. We need to add some more detail to the sand path as well. By adding smaller stones, I could create this winding path that takes your eyes on this meandering journey to the final destination, and that's the end point at the very back left. Adding these stones on the sand path gives an even greater sense of depth and detail. I made sure to add some more of these little stones around the foreground and the midground. And lastly, the final touch is to add little pebbles along the edges of the rock to complete the look. And here is what the final hardscape looks like. So that's going to do it for today's video, a full step-by-step on how I built this hardscape. I hope you've enjoyed it. As mentioned before, this tank is going to be packed full of plants, and I can't wait to show you, but there's some really exciting and brand new tissue cultures coming from aquaplant culture, so stay tuned for that. Also, this scape will be on display and for sale at the upcoming pet show. That is in Sydney on the 18th and 19th of November. I'll be there doing aquascaping workshops with Dimax, and also chatting all things aquascaping with my local fish shop, that is Aquaristics and Oz Aquarium Distributors. If you're around during Sydney at that time, please bookmark that date because I would love to see you there. Nevertheless, that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.